Hi everyone, yasas que kalos tirtate to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're going to be making a cinnamon raisin cake that is from the part of Greece known as Kalamata. It's perfect for serving with a cup of coffee or a nice hot cup of tea. Let's get started. Alright, so this is a vegan cake. There's no egg in it. You can definitely add 2 eggs in here if you want to, but the flax egg substitute does work. I have a half a cup of water, and to it I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of ground flax seeds. And I'll just mix that up and set it aside just so that way everything can soften, and it's going to create like a little gel in just a few minutes. Now, I have the dry ingredients ready. Over here I have 3 cups or 400 grams of all-purpose flour. Layla ran her fingers through this, by the way, that's why it's all messy. 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a little pinch of salt, like a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to whisk these together so that way I don't have to wash it again, basically. Whisk these first. Before I do that, I'm going to grate the zest of an orange in here. You can do lemon instead. Orange and cinnamon smells so good, and they go so well together. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. So for the wet ingredients, we need a cup of vegetable oil. I like to use a light olive oil. A cold pressed extra virgin olive oil might be a little bit too heavy for this. It does have a little bit of a bitter flavor, so I always go with a lighter olive oil, more like a cooking olive oil. Use your favorite oil. 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 to 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, and I'm going to whisk that up until the sugar dissolves. Now, if you were adding egg to this instead of the flax eggs, just add it right here. 2 eggs is all you need to hold this cake together. Traditionally, there's no egg in it or flax seeds at all, but I like to add something that helps bind it. The flax does the job, and it keeps this, vegan if you really care about that. But like I said, if you don't, you can add 2 eggs to this. I'll add the flax and the water. Last, we need 1 1/3 cups of freshly squeezed orange juice or store-bought orange juice. Now, before I add this to the wet ingredients, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of baking soda to it. And let's make sure this is 1 1/3 cups. I didn't even measure, but these are all the oranges I have, so it'll have to work. Yes, that's pretty much it. If you're ever running low on orange juice, if you're using it in a recipe, say you have like 1 1/3 cups and all you have is 1 cup, you don't have to go out and run and buy 2 more oranges or another orange or whatever. Add some water and it'll be fine. Whisk that all together, and then go in and add the dry ingredients a little bit at a time. You might be wondering where the raisins are. They're going to go in right at the very end. Oh, it smells so good once the cloves and the cinnamon hit that orange. So when you have just a little bit of flour left over, add 1 cup of raisins to it. I'm using raisins because that's traditional, but you can use cranberries, a combination of your favorite dry fruit. Even dates work in this, dried cherries. You could add some nuts to this, pecans or walnuts. And then go ahead and add the remaining flour with the raisins in there and fold it all together. I wouldn't use a whisk because the raisins are just going to get stuck in the whisk. Just use a spatula, and once that flour is absorbed and everything is even, then go ahead and transfer it to a 9 by 13-inch baking pan. Grease the pan first, just a little bit of olive oil, or you can spray it with some baking spray. Okay, so make sure that the oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The cake is going to bake on the center rack for about 35-40 minutes, or until a toothpick that's inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs attached to it. Let it cool completely in the pan. It's going to take about 30-40 minutes. Then cut it into your desired serving sizes. Dust it with some powdered sugar and a little bit of ground cinnamon, and then make some coffee and call some friends over. The cake made the house smell so good. It's time for the taste test. It's so light. I love the sweet, chewy raisins throughout the cake. They taste so good. Pairs so well with the cinnamon and the cloves in there and the orange. It's so delicious, perfectly sweet. Sweetened a little bit more with the confectioner sugar on top. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. The exact measurements are on the website www.dimitrasdishes.com. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you have any recipe requests, post them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Yes, sis.